Suicide is a tough topic, something that's comfortable to talk about. But the reality is we should be talking about it because it happens more often than you think, and unfortunately increasingly among teens. Our next guest knows she not only struggled herself, she also lost her own sister to suicide. She is now dedicated to bringing this topic out of the darkness and getting the word out that there is hope for anyone seeking help. Welcome Jennifer Sikora, the Western Pennsylvania Director for American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I think something interesting that you just told me is that there has been a change in the language even in the act of suicide. And you're saying it's not committed, this is death by suicide. So there's definitely a change in the way we're even thinking about this.
That's right, and it's all about breaking down the stigma associated with mental illness and even a suicide loss. We don't want to criminalize the act of suicide by saying commit suicide. We also really need to do more to help people understand the stigma of mental health just shouldn't even exist. Mental health is just the same as if you have diabetes or heart disease. It's health, and we want people to understand that there's really a lot of hope in getting treatment.
And I think that's the important thing. When you compare it to something like heart disease, you know that there are medications and there are treatments available. So if we think about it that way, it seems like there is something that can be done.
Lifestyle adjustments, all sorts of things that go into an overall plan of attack for dealing with a health issue, and suicide can be prevented, and we want to get that word out.
So let's talk about how personal this is for you, because you lost your sister, and this is something that you've struggled with too.
That's right. Yeah, we lost Chrissy in 2001. She had depression, and she actually stopped getting treatment for her depression, and several months later she died. Fast forward 11 years later, I actually went through my own really difficult time. I've had chronic anxiety and wasn't getting proper treatment, and a lot of things were happening in my life that just made things worse. But the good news is once I did get treatment, it's been great ever since. That was 5 years ago, and I've been doing really, really well.
You hear about this often, I think, and I've heard this personally, where people are taking medication and they stop taking it because they feel good. So they think, I don't need to take this anymore.
Absolutely.
And then once they do that, they kind of spiral down into that depression again.
Right, because for some people, the brain chemistry needs to be adjusted through medications. Not everybody needs medication, but some people do. And it's that medication that's actually keeping your brain chemistry in a better state. So similar to if you were taking medications for any other mental health or other physical health issue, if you stop taking those medications, your health would likely decline.
Right. Think about it like diabetes. You're not, if you don't get rid of it, then it's just you have to continue taking that medication.
That's right.
So can we talk about the statistics, because it really is just staggering how many deaths there are by suicide.
Yeah, it's pretty awful, and you know, I'm on the front line, you know, dealing with it every week. I hear about more and more losses. We lose over 44,000 people a year in the United States. That's more than twice as many people that we lose to homicide.
Wow.
It's the 11th leading cause of death in Pennsylvania. So it's a real crisis, and we're really trying to get people to understand that we need to talk about suicide, but we need to talk about it in a healthy, productive way, not in a damaging way.
So what do you do if you have a friend or a relative who is deeply depressed and they don't want help? How do you, because you're basically pushing them and it's a conversation you're having daily, so how do you get them there?
Yeah, exactly. It can be hard, but you know, really kind of talk to them about the health aspect of it, that, you know, really get them to understand that there are treatments available. Their life doesn't need to stay stuck in that place, that there is hope, and really trying to get people voluntarily to go out and get help for themselves. And, you know, just really listening and being supportive.
So this walk out of the darkness, this is really about prevention and awareness.
Yeah, and funny the name is on Eclipse Day, out of the darkness. It's all about, again, getting this topic out of the shadows, getting people to talk about it in an open way, and bringing the community together to really, you know, heal and be supportive of each other.
And this is in its 13th year. Have you seen the involvement increase over the years?
Yeah, when I started chairing the event 5 years ago, we had 300 people. This Saturday, we expect over 2,000, so it's going to be significant.
So a lot of the people that participate, do you see them as affected by suicide in one way or another? Are they there just for support? everything.
Whole mix. Yeah, we have a lot of loss survivors, people who have personally struggled and have lived experience, and they're just people who really believe in championing mental health issues.
So if you do have a friend or a loved one who has been reluctant to seek help, there are hotlines too, where if maybe you just slip them the number, they can, you know, privately call on them.
That's right. There's even texting lines for the younger generation too that prefers texting. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there that are available.
All right, good information. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thanks,
I know
Heather.
it's a tough topic for a lot of people to discuss, but I think this was a great setting to do it. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Well, again, this year's American Foundation for Suicide Prevention Walk Out of the Darkness is coming up this Saturday, August 26th at Highmark Stadium. Registration begins at 9. The walk starts at 10:30. In the meantime, please know that if you are struggling, there is help out there. You can contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-TALK. Or again, for the younger generation, or if you prefer, you can also text START to 741-741.